So welcome to today's yoga class. This is going to be a Vinyasa style, but really focusing on the breath, focusing on how the moves feel. So it's not about trying to get things perfect or right, but just about enjoying how the movement feels in your body. So yoga is connection, movement, union. So we're connecting our breath with our body. So we're going to invite you to take 3 deep sighs to bring yourself into this space, bring yourself into this now. So inhale, as you exhale, sigh it out. Inhale, exhale out. One more, inhale, exhale out. Just close your eyes. Just let go of anything you need to do or any to-do list, and just become present of the sensation of the mats beneath you or the floor. Become aware of the air around you. Become aware of the weight on each of your sitting bones, and just notice if you're weighted evenly or if you're leaning over to one side or the other. Don't try and correct it, just become aware. And placing your hands on your knees, we're just going to begin gentle spirals. So to start this, we're just going to rock from side to side. Just gently rocking from side to side, feeling the weight transfer from one side to the other. And then you're going to rock towards the front, to the side, to the back, to the side. Front, side, back, side. So that you're just creating gentle spirals with the body. So spirals, energy moves in waves and spirals. So we're literally just reconstructing the natural way our energy wants to flow through the body. And then we're going to spiral the other way. So gently just beginning to spiral in the other direction. Just noticing how it feels. Noticing if there's any tightness in the hips. And then bringing that spiral to a gentle stop. You may feel like you're still moving, and that's because we never actually stop. The earth is moving. And then becoming aware of your breath. Noticing if you're breathing up high into the chest, if you're raising the shoulders to breathe in. Notice if you can feel the breath going down to the belly. I invite you to place your hands on your belly. Just feel if there's any movement there. And place your hands on the sides of the ribs, so fingers facing forward, thumb behind. And when you breathe in, I want you to try and fill up the sides of the ribs. And the belly's going to puff out, so you can place your hand on the belly as well. And as you exhale, the belly's going to soften towards the spine and the ribs will draw back towards the spine. So we're going to inhale, we're expanding the side and the back of the ribs. Full deep inhale. The belly will puff out. As we exhale, the belly will draw back towards the spine and we soften. So I'm going to start a counting breath pattern. If my count is too fast or too slow, feel free to maintain your own deep and even rhythm. So we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, and out, and in, invite you to come back to your natural breath. You can relax your hands back to the knees. And just know that you can come back to this breathing pattern at any time during the class when you want to deepen your focus in any of the poses. So now we're going to lie down on our back. So if you want, you can rock back and forth so grabbing your shins just below the knees, rocking back and forth, if that feels good for your back. Otherwise, just coming down to rest on the back. And we're going to find a strap or a belt nearby and bring that close to you. So when you're on your back, bring your knees in towards your chest and pull your knees in towards you. And slight release. So inhale, as you exhale, draw your knees in towards you. Feel that press. And slight release. Inhale, as you exhale, draw your knees in towards you. Draw your tailbone down towards the ground. So your butt's not lifting up into the air, but it's more drawing down towards the ground. And release. Place your hands on your knees. Bring your big toes to touch. Circle your knees out and away from you like you're swimming like a frog. Feeling that movement and sensation in the hips. Working slowly and gently. It's quite cold today. And then going in the opposite direction. Just saying hello to your hips this morning. Seeing how tight or good they feel. And then bring them into the center. Take the strap or belt if you have one and hook it over your right foot. Extending your foot towards the sky. You can have the knee bent here. Either keep your left leg bent, foot placed flat, or extend that leg and draw the toes towards you, just depending on how tight your hamstrings are. And then with the right leg, we're going to extend that heel up towards the sky a little. Feeling that stretch along the back of the calf. You're going to point the toe and then draw the toes towards you. So you inhale to point, exhale to draw the toes back. Inhale, point, exhale, draw back. See if you can work one toe at a time. It's a little hard when you're wearing socks, but then we're going to circle gently in one direction. Trying to just move the ankle only and not the whole leg, only the ankle. So really isolating, use the strap or the belt to help you. And then circling in the other direction. Just noticing how your ankle feels, slowly warming up. And then taking the strap and swapping legs. So either now, so your left leg's in the strap, heels up towards the sky. Your right knee's either bent and foot flat, or leg is extended, toes towards you. Extend your left heel a little higher towards the sky. Feel that stretch. And then beginning to point and flex. Inhale to point, exhale to draw back. Inhale, point, exhale, draw back. Couple more. Really working through the toes if you're not wearing socks. And then slowly circling in one direction. Remember, we're not moving the whole leg, but we're just moving the ankle. And then circling the other way. And then bringing that foot down. So now we're going to bring the right leg up and over, across in front of the left knee. We're coming into a 4 pose here. So we kind of look like a 4 if we look down. Then either reach for the back of the thigh or reach for the front of the shin. Just make sure that you can keep your head on the ground. And feel that stretch. You can draw the toes towards you and pull the knee in towards you to feel a bit of a stronger stretch. And then gently swapping over sides. So bringing your left leg up, bring the ankle in front of the right knee, so the right foot is flat on the ground. Reach through, either grab the back of the calf or the front of the shin. Make sure you can keep your head on the ground. And feel that stretch in the left thigh and buttock. You can draw your toes towards you and draw your right knee in towards you to increase that stretch. And then gently releasing. You're going to bring both legs up. We're going to come into some core work now. So just bringing your legs into a tabletop. If you feel strong and good, you can bring your feet straight up towards the sky, but today I'm just going to bring my legs into a tabletop. I'm going to peel my head and neck off the ground and look towards the belly as I extend the arms forward, palms facing each other. If that's too strong on the neck, place your hands behind your neck to give some support. So here we're going to focus on our breathing. So we inhale, expanding the side and the back of the ribs. As we exhale, we're drawing our belly towards the spine. We inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. We exhale, draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expanding side and back of the ribs. Exhale. This time as we exhale, we draw up through pelvic floor. So imagine we're drawing water up through the center of us. The girls will know what I mean by pelvic floor. And then draw the belly towards the spine. So real deep contraction. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, draw up through pelvic floor. Draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, draw up through pelvic floor, belly towards the spine. Lastly, belly underneath the ribs. Just visualize it if you need to. Good. Relaxing the head on the ground. Crossing the legs over the ankles, place your hands behind the thighs and gently rock it up and down the spine if it feels good for you. Remember, it's always check into your body how it feels and then coming over onto your hands and knees. So I might just take my jumper off because I'm warming up. So at any time during the class, you're welcome to modify things if they feel too strong for you. If you feel like you can't quite, it doesn't feel good for your body, always go back to the point beforehand. So the cat-cow, we want our wrists beneath our shoulders and our knees beneath our hips. And from here, we're going to push into the ground as we look up towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Curl the tailbone under and everything comes under. So we're arching our back towards the sky like a cat. So we inhale, we roll the shoulders back, we look up towards the ceiling. We exhale, everything draws under. We roll up, we curl up, tap our spine up towards the sky. Let's see if I can get my words today. Just doing this a couple more times, working with your own breath. Inhale to come up. Exhale, everything draws in. Inhale up, exhale. Just a couple more. And now I invite you to move whichever way feels good for you. You might want to go in circles. You might want to come back over your heels and feel that stretch through the ankles. You might want to do more of a body roll. Just listen to your body. What does it want in this moment? Make sure you go in the opposite direction for whichever way you go. And then coming into the center. So we're going to work on a little bit of balance here. So draw your belly towards the spine. Extend your right leg behind you, keeping the toes on the ground. Raise that right leg up, keeping it just as high as the hips. You don't want to go too high, so we're keeping our hips square here. Now if you can, pick your left hand up and bring it straight in front of you, palms facing towards the wall. And hold. Push your heel out, push your hand out, it will help with your balance. And then gently place it down, and we're going to swap sides. So this time, extend your left leg behind you. Pick that left leg up, make sure you don't bring up the leg too high, just to hip height. Bring your right hand up. Extend your left heel behind you. Extend your right arm in front and feel that stretch. Pull the belly in. and then down. We're going to do that again, but a little bit more dynamic this time, with a bit of crunches in the middle, because we all like to do ab work, right? We want to stay fit. So we're going to extend the right leg behind, lift it up, bring the left arm in front. So I want you to try and bring your knee towards your elbow and arch the back like a cat. And then exhale, everything comes out. Inhale, draw the knee towards the elbow, arch the back up high. And then exhale, push the hand and foot out. 2 more. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, out. Inhale. Exhale and hold. Find your balance. And then gently place your hand and leg down. Ready for the other side? Extend the left leg behind you. Raise that up. Right arm in front. Drawing your elbow towards the knee. Crunch. Raise that back up like a cat. Then exhale out. Inhale, draw in. Raise the back up. Exhale out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then place your hand, place your leg down. You're going to come into child's pose. This is a pose that you can come into at any time during the class when you feel like you just need a bit of a rest. Bring your knees out as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. And then sit back on your heels, bringing your arms out in front. If that's too strong on your shoulders, you always have the option to bring your knees towards each other, coming into more of a kneel, and bring your hands beside your feet and the head down. And then just focusing on the breath. Inhale, 2, 3, and out. 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out. 2, 3. So coming up to a seated position, however feels comfortable for you. You may wish to sit on a cushion, or you could even do this next one on a chair if you like. So we're going to do a little bit of shoulder work because I know my shoulders have felt tight doing a little bit of study at home and working from a desk. So it's really nice to loosen up the shoulders. Just starting by just rolling the shoulders back. And rolling them forwards. Raising them up and down. Up towards the ears. And let them drop. One more. And down. So we're going to work on our range of motion of our neck. So I want you to first, just placing your hands on your knees, just look over your left shoulder and without strain, just noticing what you can see behind you. Just taking a mental picture going, okay, yep, I can see that. And then looking over towards the right going, yep, I can see that far. And just remembering that's where you were. Bring your arms out to the side. You can close your eyes if you wish, so you can feel into this more. And I want you to extend your fingers one at a time, but I want you to turn them up towards the ceiling. So turn your thumbs up and extend them towards the back of the room. Extend your first finger and turning towards the back of the room, turning the whole hand. The third finger, the fourth, the fifth. Feeling that extension through the shoulders. Keep the shoulder blades down, away from the ears, and then relax the hand. And we're going to try that again. So we're rolling out through the hand. So the thumb comes up, extending towards the back of the room. The first finger, the second finger, the third, the fourth. Feeling that extension. And then this time, as you draw them in, I want you to bring your right elbow in front of your left elbow on top. And then wrapping the hands around and reaching wherever you can. That's perfectly fine. Then drawing your elbows down towards your chest and lower your head. And begin to breathe into the back of the body, becoming aware of the shoulder blades. Almost see if you can feel them moving out and away from each other as you breathe. I'm just doing very tiny minuscule motions with the head for yes and no. So tiny, tiny moments. We're just working on the tiny bones in the neck, back of the neck. Raising your head up. Raise your elbows up. Draw the hands away from you and hold. Remember, if at any time anything feels too strong, you can come out of this pose. Now I want you to look directly over your left shoulder, directly to the side, and hold. Now look directly down to your left armpit. Imagine you can snip your armpit. That's the best analogy I can give you. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. Directly over to the left. Back to the center. Over to the right now. And hold. Look down to the right armpit. Imagine you can smell the right armpit, feeling that stretch along the back and side of the neck. Up to the right. And to the center. Hold. And release. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. That can be quite strong on the shoulders. So just rolling the shoulders back. Rolling them the other way. Take your hands, link your fingers, push your hands away from you, raise them up above the head. Feel that stretch through the body. Push your tailbones down towards the ground. Bring the arms out to the side. Clasp the hands behind you. Keep the shoulder blades down as you try and raise the arms up. Feeling the stretch along the front of the chest. And then release. We're going to go on the other side. So we're going to do the hand stretch again. Bring the arms out to the side. So this should feel comfortable here. Rotating the thumb up. The first finger, the second, the third, the fourth. Rotating towards the back wall. And then release. And again, rotate the thumb, the first finger, the second, the third, the fourth. Feel that stretch along the chest. And release. And as we draw in this time, we bring our left elbow in front on top of our right elbow. Wrap the hands around wherever they, you might even just be here, wherever they land is perfectly okay. We are trying at some point to get palm to palm, but there's no end goal in yoga. You just focus on where you are, what you can do in that moment. Draw your elbows down towards the chest, lower the head. Curl yourself in. Begin to notice the breath at the back of the body. Becoming aware of the shoulder blades moving in and out. Slight yes and no motion with the head. Very, very tiny. Just articulating through the tiny bones in the neck. Then lifting the head up, raising the arms up, drawing the hands away from you slightly so you're feeling a stretch. And hold. Turn towards the right this time. Look directly over the right shoulder. Look down towards the right armpit. hold. Right shoulder side. Into the center and hold. To the left side, hold. Down to the left armpit. To the left side. To the center. And release. Couple of shoulder rolls. And the other way. Shoulders up towards the ears and drop. Up towards the ears and drop. One more and drop. And just notice, so I invite you to check your neck range of motion again. Just keeping your hands on your knees, just turn around and see if you can see anything more. Like, yeah, there's a little bit more freedom, a little bit more space there. And then checking the other side. Definitely more freedom and more space. That's such a cool move. Like, there's not that many moves you can do where you can test your ability beforehand and check how it feels after, but that's a really, really good one. Particularly if you wake up with a tight neck or really tight shoulders. This is a really, really good sequence to go through if you just want that more range of motion. And I'll teach this one a few times so you become more familiar with it and you can make it your own practice. Okay, let's get up to our feet. So we're going to, from where you are, rolling onto the knees, coming onto your hands, uncurl the toes at the back, and pushing up into your first downward dog. And working the feet, walking the dog, gently placing one foot down to the floor at a time, really stretching through those ankles, because I know mine feel tight having been on the floor for a while. Come up high on the toes as high as you can, and then try and bring your heels down towards the ground. Up high on the toes, and then down. So I'll get you to just sit for a moment and watch me, because I'm going to show you something which you may or may not have seen in my previous video, called convoluted dog. It's a really nice waving motion to help our body warm up and get used to flowing through movements. So we start in downward dog. So what I do is I bend my knees, I bring my weight over my hands forward into plank, and then I push my tailbone up towards the sky. So I bend the knees, I come forward, and then I push my tailbone up towards the sky. So now you can join me coming into downward dog. So we bend the knees, come forward into plank, push the tailbone up. Bend the knees, come as far forward as you want, and then push the tailbone up. Bend the knees. Now notice I don't bend my elbows here. I keep my elbows straight as I come forward. One more. And then holding in downward dog. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So here, we come up on the toes. We come forward into plank. We bend the knees, and then we push our hands away from the floor to come back into downward dog. Up on the toes, forward into plank. Bend the knees, push your hands away from the floor to come back into downward dog. A couple more. Up on the toes, forward to plank. Bend the knees, push up. Up on the toes, forward to plank. Bend the knees, push up. And holding downward dog. For your downward dog, push your hands firmly into the ground. Rotate the armpits towards each other. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, so draw them down the back of the body. Slight bend in the knees, raising the tailbone to the sky. And beginning to walk your hands back towards your feet and coming into a forward fold. Keep the knees bent. You can cross your elbows here and grab hold of opposite elbows, feeling that nice stretch through the back of the body. And then grabbing the other elbow, so swapping elbows over. Release your hands to the ground. You're going to come up into a half lift, so that means we straighten the legs, we draw the shoulder blades back and we look up. And then we exhale back down. I'm going to do that a couple more times. So we straighten the legs, place our hands on our thighs, shoulder blades come back. We're creating length across the spine and down. One more. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. This time, push your knees into the ground, keep the knees bent. Push your legs to allow the body to roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Arms will rise. Look towards the hands. And then you're going to roll down towards the earth. Walk your hands out and come into a plank. So this is where your wrists are beneath your shoulders, belly's towards the spine, pushing out through the heels. If this is too strong, you can come down onto your knees. From here, we're going to come down into a sphinx. So coming down to the ground, bring your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Push your forearms into the earth and lift the chest. Slight back bend. Bring your hands beside the shoulders. Curl your toes. Push back into downward dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet and forward fold. Keep the knees bent. Inhale to half lift, shoulder blades back, length across the spine. Exhale, fold. Keep the knees bent. Push the feet into the floor as you roll up through the body, one vertebra at a time. Arms rise, look up towards the hands. Exhale, melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands up into plank. Wrists beneath the shoulders. Pull the belly towards the spine. Push the heels out. Remember, you can always come down to your knees here. Coming down to the ground. Bring your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Push your forearms into the earth. Lift the chest. Sphinx. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders, push back into downward dog. Walking your hands back, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Push your feet into the earth, keep the knees bent, rolling up through the spine. Arms rise. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands out. Coming into plank. Option to bring your knees and go down to the ground in Sphinx like we did, or I'll give you another option here. From plank, you're going to bend your knees, raise the toes. The elbows are going to brush the ribs. And you're only going to come down as far as the elbows to the ribs. So you're not coming all the way down to the ground. It looks like this. Push my feet into the ground, push the hands into the earth, roll up into upward dog. And then I push back into downward dog. So I'm going to meet you here. We're all here now. So I raise the toes. I come down, elbows brush the ribs. I push my feet into the top of the mat. I push my hands against the earth and I roll my chest open. And then I come back into downward dog. And hold. Breathe in. 2, 3. And out. 2, 3. So from here you inhale, you bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front of the mat as you step towards the front of the mat. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, arms will rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. And catch your breath. You can close your eyes here. Hands at the heart. Becoming aware of the ground beneath you, of the air around you. Slight tingling in the body. We're going to go into some sun salutations. So opening the eyes, arms arise out to the side, then exhale, come down through the center of the body. Inhale, coming into your half lift, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. Step one foot back and the other foot back, coming into our downward dog, and hold for a moment. Come forward into plank or lowering the knees. If you're in plank, follow me. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs as we push up into upward dog. Tops of the feet pushing into the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale back into downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do that a couple more times so you can get into the flow. Hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Step back into downward dog and hold. Come forward into plank. Wrists beneath the shoulders, push out through the heels. Lower the knees. Raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs. Push the feet into the mat. Roll the shoulder blades back. Exhale, back. Downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more, working with the breath. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back, downward dog. Coming into plank, hold. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs, push up into upward dog. Open up through the chest. Exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the hands as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. And gently close the eyes. Noticing your breath. Noticing the sensations around you. We're going to come into some flowing sequence. Opening the eyes. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog and hold. Raise the right leg up. Keep the leg at hip height. Remember the cat-cow, we didn't go too high. Pull the belly towards the spine. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Really pull the belly towards the spine. Look towards the hands, and if you can, bring the weight over the hands and see if you can bring that foot in between the hands. Or bring that weight down. Then pivoting on your back foot to come into a 45-degree angle, coming up into warrior one. Feel that stretch. Imagine you're stretching the mat between your legs. And holding there, so I'm going to turn around so you can see me. It's the thing teaching in all different sides. Our front knee is bent 90 degrees, our back foot is at 45. Bring the hands down, cross them out, open them out into warrior two. Feel the thighs beginning to open out, circle out to the sides. Look directly through the middle finger of the front hand. Pivot on your back foot to come into a high lunge. Bring the arms up. So you're pushing your heel towards the ground. Keeping that bend in the front knee. Now here's going to be a balance. So focusing, pull up, pull. Pull your belly towards the spine. Draw up through pelvic floor. Create a lot of strength in the center of the body. You can bring your hands down to the chest if you want. And then if you can, see if you can lift up and transfer into Warrior 3. If your Warrior 3 is here, that is perfectly fine. Wherever you are is good. So we're aiming on straightening the front leg, keeping the chest lifted and beginning to come into. And then if you can, see if you can come back down into Warrior 2, slowly and gently. Then come with both hands down. Raise that front foot up. Bring that foot down to the ground. And an option here to go through a float. So that means to come through plank, lower the knees, elbows brush the ribs, upward dog, back into downward dog. And hold. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat and fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. So opening the eyes. This time we're going to start from a different position. We're going to start from chair pose. So from here, what you do is you bring your thighs to touch. You squeeze your thighs in. And you're going to sweep your hands down and then sit your hips back like you're sitting back in a chair. But we don't want our butt to tuck up. We want it to slightly tuck under and raising the arms. This is also called Thunderbolt Fire Pose. It's pretty full on the shoulders. And just squeezing those legs together. Sit back a little lower if you can. Make sure your weight is on your heels. See if you can raise the toes. And then forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Step back into downward dog. And hold. This time raising the left leg. Keeping the hips square. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine. Bring your weight forward over the hands and see if you can bring that foot closest to the hands. You can always pick it up and bring it forward. That's perfectly okay. And then pivoting your back foot to 45 degrees. Standing up into your Warrior 1. Front knee at 90 degrees. Back foot at 45. Arms rise. Imagine you're stretching the mat with your legs. Feel that strength in the legs. Shoulder blades are away from the ears, so shoulder blades go down the back of the body. Cross the arms in front. Open the back foot out to 90 degrees. Front knee comes out to 90 degrees angle. Arms out to the sides. Look directly over the middle finger of the front hand. Feel the legs spiraling out to the sides. And hold. You're going to pivot on the back leg now. So pivoting towards the front, so you come into a high lunge. So you can see my heel is off the ground. I keep my bend in my front knee. And I keep my arms raised. Kick that heel out towards the back wall. Here, I'll draw in through pelvic floor, pull my belly towards the spine, and I can bring my hands to my heart as I gently and carefully transition into Warrior 3. And remember, your Warrior 3 can be right here, perfectly okay, whatever feels good for you. Wherever you are, try and keep your hips square. Try not to open up, because you'll fall. It's really hard. So you try and keep your hips square towards the ground. Push that heel out away from you and draw the chest up. Then bring your foot back into Warrior Two. Hold for a moment. Cartwheel the hands down. Raise that front foot up. Bring it down into Downward Dog. If you're feeling tired, you have an option here to hold in Downward Dog or rest in Child's Pose. Or you can always go through a flow. Whatever feels good for you. Remember, listen to your body in yoga. And then everyone come back into Downward Dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Look towards the front of the hands. As you inhale, walk towards the front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart, gently closing the eyes. And just becoming aware of your breath. We're going to go a little bit further with this pose. Coming to a bit more of a challenging balance. Opening the eyes. I'm going to start in the chair pose again because that's actually a really good pose. So drawing the thighs together, squeeze the thighs together. Then you're going to sweep down, bring the arms up and sit back like you're sitting back in a chair. Remember, you don't want your tailbone to be up, you want your tailbone to slightly draw down. And you want to be able to lift your toes off the ground. Feeling that strength in the legs. Hold. And then forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back, Downward Dog. Raise the right leg. Bring the knee towards the chest. Pull the belly towards the spine, arch the back, look towards the hands as you step that foot forward, coming into Warrior One. Cross the arms over, Warrior Two. Feel the legs spiraling outwards. Pivot on the back foot into high lunge. Pull up through pelvic floor. Pull the belly towards the spine. Push up through the heel. Create strength in the body. Coming up into Warrior Three and bring your hands to your heart. From here, there's a slight variation. So I want you to begin to stand up and bring your knee out towards the side and then hook your foot on top of your knee. So like we were on the ground doing the full pose. And then begin to sit back in your chair. It's a very cool balance. And then you're going, if you can, if you've still got balance, you can always use a wall here. Bring that leg out to the back, coming back into Warrior Three. We're going to try that again. Begin to stand up. Bring your hip out to the side. Lift your knee up. Bring your heel, left heel on top of your right knee. And then once you're there, begin to sit back like you're sitting back in a chair. Remember sitting in the chair pose. And hold. And then, if you've still got strength and you're still with me, extending that foot out. One more. Bring that leg out to the side. Hook the ankle over the knee. Sit back. Pushing your hands together in prayer is going to help you with your balance. Also pulling up through pelvic floor. And then release back into Warrior Two. Sorry, I had to catch my breath there. Hold. Cartwheel the hands down. Raise that front foot up. Coming into Downward Dog. Remember options here. You can hold it Downward Dog. You can come down to the ground in Child's, or you can go through a flow. If you're going through a flow, come forward, bend the knees, raise the toes, elbows brush the ribs, Top of the feet, press into the mat. Exhale back, downward dog. Everyone in downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. This side now. See if you can remember the sequence. Hands to the heart. Starting in chair pose. Opening the eyes, squeeze the thighs together. Sweep the hands down, coming up into your chair. Sit back, sit your hips back, like you're sitting back in a chair, and hold. Raise that toes, raise your toes. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back, downward dog, and hold. Raise the left leg. Bring the knee towards the chest. Bring the weight forward, step that foot in between the hands. Warrior 1. Back foot at 45, front knee at 90 degrees. Stretch the mat with your legs. Cross the arms over, open out. Warrior 2. Look over those front fingers. Pivot on the back foot. Arms rise. High lunge. Knee, front knee is at 90 degrees. Push the heel back towards the back of the room. Straight through the legs. Hands to the heart. Pull out through pelvic floor. Pull in through your core. Raise the sternum up slightly, creating strength and length through the body. Transitioning gently up into warrior 3. And then, let's play with our balance here. Begin to bring that knee out to the side. Bring your heel down on top of the left knee. And then sit back. One side you're going to find is easier than the other. Hold. Remember, you can always use a wall for support. And then, extending that leg behind you. Warrior 3. Definitely easier on my other side. Whew. Bring that knee out to the side. Bring the heel over the knee. Sit back in your 4 pose. Sit a little lower. Push the hands towards each other to help with your balance. And then one more, if you're still with me. Feeling the work on this leg. Hold. And then bringing out to the side. And then gently coming it back into warrior 2. That feels really good right now. And hold. Cartwheel both hands down. Raise the front foot up. Bring that foot down. And hold. And breathe in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. We're going to make our way down to the ground, so however that's easy for you, might bring one foot in front, then the other. Cross the legs and sit down. Whatever feels good for you. I'm going to face you. We're going to come into some forward folds. You may wish to sit on something a little bit higher, like a block or a cushion. You can also grab your strap here if you want. Loop it around the feet. So we want to make sure in our forward fold that we're not doing this. I don't have that much flexibility in my legs, so there's a lot of curve in my back. By bending my knees here, my tailbone's going to tip forward and I've got a lot more space. So what I'm going to do is maybe everyone start with their knees bent. Start with your hands near your hips, so chest towards the toes. You're going to draw your hands back towards you. Bring them up through the body. Raise them up and then exhale as you fold forward. You're going to try that again. So draw your hands along the ground. Bring them up through the body. Raise them up, then fold forward. One more. Draw the hands along the sides, up through the body. Rise up tall, fold forward, and then hold wherever you reach. Your knees, your shins, your toes. Just draw your toes back. Remember, you can use the strap. And then just hold. Might want to try and wriggle your feet out a little bit further on your exhale. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale a little bit deeper. And then releasing the strap if you've got a strap. And we're going to make our way down to the ground. So straightening the legs. Make sure there isn't anything behind you that can get in your way. And if you want, we can do a little bit more ab work just to get down to the ground. So draw the toes towards you, bring the hands in front, pull the belly towards the spine. We're going to slowly come down towards the ground. You can pulse at the halfway mark. Create little circles. And a little bit lower. A little bit lower. And then coming down. Oh, and when you're down, stretch your arms out long, stretch your feet out long, sigh it out, or yawn it out, whatever feels good. Full body stretch, and release. One more, and release. We're just going to come into a twist to finish, so whatever feels good for you. If you feel you've had enough and your body's feeling quite tight, just bend your knees, and bring your feet as wide as the mat, bring your arms out to the side and just gently beginning to windscreep wiper your knees. If you feel like you want to go into more of a stretch and you know a different side stretch, you're welcome to. But we're all just going to do this one. And then find a side to rest on. Bring your knees across to a side and then look to the opposite side, if that feels good on your neck. Otherwise, you can look directly towards the ceiling. Bringing the knees up towards the centre, then switching them over to the other side, and then looking to the opposite hand. And then bring the knees up, and then giving them a bit of a squeeze, and circling them. So massaging the lower back, keeping the knees together as you circle the knees. Then releasing one leg out to the ground and the other, and you can grab a blanket if you have. And we'll go into Shavasana. I'm going to do a bit of a sound bowl session for you if you like. This brings us to an hour, so if you can just rest for a few moments, that'd be great. Or if you need to get up and do things, I understand as well, because I did say it was going to be an hour. But if you're going to rest, just letting your legs feel heavy, the back of the arms heavy, feeling them pressing into the earth. Feel the weight of the legs. Feel the back of the shoulder blades, back of the head. Relaxing the forehead. Becoming aware of your breath. Noticing how your body feels. Becoming aware of the sound of my voice. Anything you can hear, anything you can smell, anything you can sense. Slowly beginning to wriggle the fingers and the toes, allowing movement and sensation to slowly come back into the body. Taking a deeper breath in, circling the ankles, circling the wrists, perhaps stretching overhead. Coming over to roll over onto your right hand side and just resting there for a moment. Keeping your eyes closed. And just noticing how you feel. Gently beginning to spiral, so slowly circling in one direction. Noticing if there's any more freedom in your movement, and spiraling the other way. Then coming to a stop. Either keeping your hands on your knees or bringing your hands to your heart. We're going to conclude our practice with 3 beautiful Oms. I want you to think of someone who's going through a hard time right now. It might be a friend, it might be a relative, it might be an animal that you deeply care for. And I want you to picture them in your mind's eye. And I invite you to dedicate your Oms to them. And if you can't picture any specific person, maybe just send the Oms out to the world because we really need it right now. So inhale. Gently bowing the head. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings have happiness and the causes for happiness. Thank you for joining me for this beautiful practice. Thank you to all my teachers before me. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to bringing you more soon. Thanks for joining me.